Okay. G.I. Joe creator Larry Hama defends changes to Snake Eyes in the upcoming Henry Golding-led film. Defending the race swapping, I assume, is what he's doing. Great. Great. G.I. Joe creator Larry Hama recently defended changes to Snake Eyes in the upcoming Snake Eyes G.I. Joe origin film starring Henry Golding. Henry Golding plays Snake Eyes in Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins from Paramount Pictures, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures, and Skydance. Yes, he's, I think, he's supposed to be British Asian or something. He's Asian, but he's a Brit or whatever. And of course, Snake Eyes is blonde and blue-eyed, so. And also never takes his mask off. Anyway, Hama took to his personal Facebook where he shared a video from Paramount Pictures that shows him on the set of the film. He stated, "I was in costume for the interview. I'm wearing waterproof underwear and socks under the suit and overcoat." Is okay. Not very good at writing jokes, is he? In the video, seen below, not going to watch it, not only is Hama on the set of the film, but he also says, "When I did the comic, I made it character-centric. I came up with the backstory of Storm Shadow." I came up with the backstory of Storm Shadow taking Snake Eyes into the clan. The video also features Golding stating, we try to find a balance between what is pre-existing G.I. Joe lore, but also finding a way of updating it. See, things don't need to be updated. If they're good, they don't need to be updated. This is a mistake that everyone in entertainment seems to make. They think that everything needs to be updated. It's like, no, it doesn't. If it was good already, leave it the fuck alone, Like, you want to do a new version of it, that's fine, but, it's like, remain faithful to the source material. There's no reason to update it. Like, oh, well, it doesn't appeal to modern sensibilities to have a blonde, blue-eyed man be the hero. We have to have him be non-white. And it's like, no, there's no legitimate reason why that has to be the case. It's just you being fucktards. SJW fucktards. Anyway. Giving people more. I would argue you're giving them less. By changing things that don't need to be changed. Changing things that do not in any way positively affect things. So they don't, you can say if the rest of it's good, then okay, it didn't negatively affect it. But race swapping characters, that's not a positive. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter which way it goes. Some people might say that it would be better to have Blade be white, but I wouldn't. Anyway, to that end, producer Lorenzo di Bonaventura stated that opened up a world of opportunity. Let's do the origin story before he's lost his voice. Not only will Snake Eyes speak in the film, as he's shown in the video above as well as the film's first teaser trailer, but he will also be maskless for much of the film. In fact, Golding has declared that this movie is the true backstory of Snake Eyes. I would argue that it is not the true backstory. And I would argue that, frankly, having Snake Eyes, who's, very much, the martial artist sort of character and and whatnot, like revealing, as it were, him to be, it's obviously we know it's bullshit, but still, revealing him to be, the guy under that mask in previous, iterations of the character that you've seen, he was an Asian dude. It's like, you're playing into the Asian stereotype of Asians are good at martial arts. You know, if anybody's doing martial arts, they must be Asian. As for why these changes are being made, Golding explained, let's just say he wasn't born with a mask. Well, no fucking shit. There's always a beginning, and the importance for giving complexity to set what? It's more complex for him to be Asian and doing stereotypically Asian, stuff than for him to be, blonde, blue-eyed white guy who's doing what people would tend to believe was Asian stuff. I don't know. It's like, does that make it more complex or less complex? I kind of care. I think drove us to be able to allow him to express himself, because I don't think we were able to see that in the comic books. Oh, God. He elaborated, we weren't able to understand the hardships that got him to be who he is, the decisions that were made, the hurdles that had to be overcome, the wrong, the right. And we see all of that within this film because he perhaps isn't the best of guys in the beginning. Perhaps his motivations aren't true. But what he goes through with the, I can't pronounce that, Arashikage? I don't know. Clan, perhaps puts him back on the right track, he concluded. Despite Golding's explanations, a number of fans not happy with Snake Eyes talking and not wearing his mask. Well, I'm fine with that. I'm just not happy that you're race-swapping the character in order to have him be maskless. Snake Eyes doesn't talk. Well, obviously he would. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him talking. I don't have a problem with them doing essentially a prequel story where it's like, yeah, he can still talk. He's not wearing the mask. He's not been in the accident and been disfigured or whatever. I'm fine with that. But in doing so, you are race swapping the character. That's what I'm not okay with. That's what I'm not fucking okay with. And I'm not okay with race swapping, like I said, no matter which direction it goes. But honestly, I am actually beginning to get kind of pissed off at this point because, of course, the race swapping only happens in one direction. As much as I wouldn't be okay with you making originally black characters into white ones, you don't ever do that. It's like most of the time you don't even use the existing black characters. All you do is you take the existing white characters and you make them black, or you make them Asian, or you make them, maybe Hispanic or something, although I don't recall that specifically, right off the top of my head. But you definitely, getting rid of all of the white people, all of the blonde people, all the redheads. The redheads keep turning black in every fucking new thing. It's like, yeah, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with you trying to erase white people. Fuck you. I don't have any kind of problem with you creating new characters, or for that matter, as Eric July has pointed out, if you just use there are originally black characters in comics and shit, and you just don't fucking use them. But nope, no. It's like it's bad for everybody here. It's bad for everybody. As Eric July puts it, it's like blacks are getting the sloppy seconds, and white people are getting erased. Anyway, despite Golding's blah blah blah, hope this movie is good. Well, I hope it's good too, but I wouldn't count on it. MC Jester, okay, wrote, just to remind everyone, Snake Eyes is supposed to be a white guy. Yes, it's part of his backstory. Yep. You know how people aren't defined by their origin or background, but hey, sure, Snake Eyes is a ninja, so he has to be Asian. Kind of the point that I made. Well, as a Jedi wrote, we're bringing back G.I. Joe and going with an unmasked talking Snake Eyes right before Shang-Chi comes out. I'm sure this movie will be fine. But I don't trust they'll build a world worth investing in. Oh, I'm sure they won't. When the ending of the pandemic... With the ending of the pandemic, I'll wait for HBO Max or Netflix. Yeah, I probably won't even bother with that. And something or other Gummy wrote, Snake Eyes is not from Asia. What's this bloody shit? Good question, sir. Or ma'am, as the case may be. Or whatever. Hama. I wonder if anyone writing articles about Larry Hama is careful not to ever put the possessive for his name. You know, have him, Hamas, apostrophe S, because it's that one apostrophe away from being Hamas. Hama would address this criticism in the comments of the aforementioned Facebook post. He would write, I really do not understand the continuity purists. Well, then you don't understand fandom at all, do you, sir? Don't they know that the entire 185-issue timeline to date is one long retcon? Well, lots of comic things are retconny because they keep on relaunching shit. It's like they have a run, and then they have another run, and then they have another run, and it rewrites things from the past. And it's like maybe that's one reason why I'm happy enough to have never really gotten into the comics in the first place, because it's really shitty, in my opinion, when you go back and fucking change shit like that. I hate retcon. And then I never had a structured long view. Well, that's... I made up the story literally page by page. So do a lot of people. That doesn't... I mean, look, once you do it, it's done. It doesn't change the fact. It's like, how you did it doesn't change the fact that, you did it and that became the canon. If I was still adhering to the same timeline, all the main characters would now be in their 70s. Well, that's the thing about fiction. Fiction allows the characters to maybe change somewhat over time, although it's better if they really don't change that much, and but continue to have adventures no matter how old they would logically be. And they have, a lot of times they have the same adventures. It's like, the same sort of adventure they had in the 60s, they have it in the 80s, and then they have it again in the 90s, and then they have it again in the 2010s. It's like, it's just, they just keep on kind of repeating this, and maybe there's variations on the theme, but it's, but you can still do that with fictional characters, and no reason not to. People enjoy the fictional characters as they are. There's no need to, I don't know. Hama concluded, I really love where the filmmakers have taken it, presumably, and they have all done so with the greatest respect. I don't know. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of respect whenever they change things. Maybe some people think that there's nothing wrong with it, but I've never been a fan of changing things. Interestingly enough, Hama had different thoughts when Golding was originally cast to play Snake Eyes. Oh, really? Back in August of 2019, he stated, some people are saying that casting Golding fixes the character of Snake Eyes, but I disagree. He explained, I had wanted to keep him ambiguous until Hasbro introduced Storm Shadow as the only Asian character and made him a bad guy. I decided to fix that by delving into his background and gradually turning him into a good guy. This is why Snake Eyes is a white guy. What do you make of Hama's change of stance between Golding's casting and now? What do you make of his defense of the changes being made in the film? I think his defense is bullshit. I think anyone's defense is bullshit. And I think I think his change of attitude might be because either somebody had a talk with him or somebody offered him money. Fuck this bullshit. Yeah, it's definitely time for, it's definitely time for, as has recently been discussed, it's like, the Phantom Menace doesn't offer any alternatives. It doesn't even bother to suggest to people that they stop wasting their money on corporate bullshit. It's time that we all did more of the Comicsgate sort of thing, where it's like, yes, we create an alternative, or we embrace an alternative, or whatever, and we stop purchasing the mainstream crap. It's time to start ignoring Hollywood's offerings and let them die. Let the past die. Kill it if you must. As for me, it's like I'm probably going. I mean, I suppose to a certain extent I'll continue to pay attention to articles about it, but it's like going to watch the films. It's like I'm probably going to do less of that. Probably do less of that. I don't know. It's just, I mean, part of the problem is that it's not fun. Like their shit is not fun anymore. It used to be fun. You of my age group or similar or older or even a little bit younger, not a lot younger, but a little bit younger perhaps, then you grew up with fun entertainment offered by the entertainment industry. But it's in the recent decades, it's really gotten to where it's like, no, it's not fun anymore. The 90s, I guess, is still good shit in the 90s, and then after that, it really was on a very steep downward trajectory, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And at this point, it's absolute garbage. And what do you want to bet? It's going to be even worse. This time, like next year or something. It's like there'll be even more horrible fucking shit that we have to deal with. So, yeah, it's time. It's time to just stop buying their crap. As I said in my first fucking video on this channel, it's time to stop buying their shit. All right, until the next one.